What's up, everyone? Michael Heath with Get Automating, and it's so good to be back with you after the holiday break. So much in the realm of productivity to look forward to in 2025, and we're going to explore it all. But if you're like me over the holiday break, meeting with a lot of family, had some people issues. Let's talk about this.
Get Automating, enhancing humans daily.
All right, so my family is pretty well behaved for the most part, including me, of course. However, I'm talking about when you're performing intake using SharePoint as your data source or Dataverse as your data source, and you're bringing that into Power Apps, and you want to use a people field, right, to guide users through the process. We don't want them to sidestep the process, only put their first name in, or incorrectly spell their name, those types of things. So we want to rely on some of these people fields and perhaps even bringing in a list of 365 users to help throw some guardrails on this. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. All right, so here we are in our SharePoint list, very basic certification tracker. We've got cert name, that's a single line text type of field. And then we have the name of the individual here. And this is actually of type person or group. So this is going to be pulling from 365. Now we have an email column as well. And I want you to see what I did with this. And that is I'm just using a little JSON script here. So I want to pull what's brought back from the metadata collected in the name field. So when you're using a column of person or group type, it's actually bringing in a lot of other metadata about that person. One of those is email. So sometimes in solutions, we don't need to break that out, but other times we do. I've chosen to break that out here by just calling on this JSON script and placing it in there. All right, so now you know what we need to do, and that's hopping in on Power Apps, and we need to connect the dots here. So I've got a blank canvas app here that I've created. Right away, I'm going to go over to Insert, and I'm going to choose my SharePoint data. All right, so looking at this, one of the things I just talked about was I'm not collecting email. If I get the name, I'll have the email. So we can go ahead and remove that field. Come right over here, boom, it's gone. Tighten this up just a little bit. So let's pause and go ahead and test the app right now, and we're going to see something right away. Uh-oh. No items to display. And this is a common challenge for beginners in Power Apps. And that is right now the default mode is set to edit. Well, there's no entries to edit. I'm not selecting any records. I'm creating a new record. So we just need to change this to new. And that way this will be displayed properly. So we got a title we can drop in there. Then we have this weird stuff going on. And that's our people issue we're looking at today. Now, it's not a hard fix. It's just something we have to navigate together. And then, of course, our tracking status. But let's focus in on this name column so that's displayed correctly. And this is quite the easy fix. If we select the actual control, not the title, not the box, but the actual control, and we slide on over here to fields, we notice right here that right now it's got the layout option, which is single, double, or the person. You can bring in images for their profile, that sort of thing. We're going to keep it single. You can explore that later. But right here, this is what we need to understand. How is this going to be displayed? And we've got a number of different options here. Display name is frequently used. So let's go ahead and choose that. And we'll choose that for our search field as well. Close that out. All right. And if we want to just finish off the app here, get this to a submit stage, we just pop in our submit button here. Call this submit. On select. Submit form. Which form are we submitting? Form 1. Close it out. Hop right over here. And now if all is correct, you should have your names displayed there. I'm selecting my own name. It's grabbed that. It's including that metadata as well. And if we look at the tracking here, I'm just going to select new. We're going to submit that. Pop back over to our SharePoint list here. And we've got our new entry that came in. And of course, grabbing that other metadata that's associated with our person. All right, so there you have it. Using a column field of person or group type in your SharePoint list. How do you get that over to Power Apps? What are the obstacles you have to overcome little nuances. Now, what if you're using Dataverse as opposed to SharePoint? There's some differences. Check out the next video where I explore what these differences are. Until next time, get automating.